Hi, my name's Connor. I'm going to be your physician assistant today.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. All right. Could you, what is your name?
Jeffrin.
Jeffrin. Could you spell that for me?
Yes, Jephryn.
And your last name?
Lee, Lee.
Thank you. And your date of birth?
7495.
7495. Very nice. Today is the... Do you know the date for today?
It's the 8th.
I don't think
Today.
Yeah, okay.
Or the 9th. You know, it's...
That's fine.
They all kind of just blur together at some
hear
point.
you. All right, Jeffrin, what brings you in today?
I've been experiencing some general just fatigue and weakness. Noticed that my appetite's been kind of decreased. Kind of lost weight unintentionally, so I'm not really sure what's going on.
Well, I'm really sorry to hear that. When have these symptoms started? Do you know?
I would say it became more significant about 2 weeks ago, but
2
I
weeks.
want to say I started noticing it about 2 months ago.
2 months ago. And that's for all of these 3 symptoms: fatigue, weakness, decreased appetite, and weight loss?
I would say the weakness has been more so the recent 2 weeks ago.
And that's kind of what brought you in here? That's what changed your mind?
because I've never really experienced something like this before.
Okay. Very interesting. And how much weight do you think you've lost?
I think since moving to this new city, I would say around like 10 pounds.
10 pounds, okay. And when did you move here?
Around the beginning of July.
Beginning of July? 3 months. Okay. Well, again, I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm just going to review with you what I heard from you, and I want to make sure that it's all correct. So you've had fatigue, weakness, decreased appetite, and weight loss for about 2 months now, but it's gotten particularly worse in the past 2 weeks, especially the fatigue and the weakness. And you feel like it's kind of started maybe when you moved to the new city, which is about 3 months ago. You lost about 10 pounds. Okay. So I have the onset of fatigue, 2 weeks. So regarding the fatigue and the weakness, do you think that there's any sort of setting that this occurs in, any sort of time of day that it gets worse, better?
Fatigue, I would say
Just all day?
I think when I wake up, it's hard to get out of bed, but once I start get going, it's okay, and then it kind of hits me again at night, right before I go to bed.
At night, okay. I mean, you say every day is kind of the same? Yeah?
Yeah, for the most part.
And have you noticed it getting worse in the past 2 weeks, or it's kind of maintained?
I think it's pretty consistent. Yeah.
Does anything make it worse?
I think if I'm extra busy or extra stressed or have lots of physical things to do, if I need to do like laundry or do chores, then it kind of stresses it even more.
That makes sense. Any specific activities you can think of besides just like generally busyness that like does cause you to have more?
I don't think so. I don't really exercise, so I don't think that would be doing anything.
All right. Have you tried anything to make it better? Do you drink coffee, energy drinks? Do you feel like that helps at all?
I do drink coffee, but I don't think I'm caffeine sensitive. I don't think I've ever been. I just drink it for the sake of drinking it.
To be one of those people?
Yeah, I need my daily coffee.
But you don't notice that it helps the fatigue at all?
I don't know. I mean, I try to sleep, take more naps, try to sleep in as much as I can, but I don't notice a significant difference in that either.
Okay. How many naps would you say you take? Like a week, one a day?
Maybe like 3 to 4 a week. I don't really have time to take naps, but if I can, so maybe every other day.
And how long would you say you nap for?
Maybe like an hour and a half.
Hour and a half?
Yeah.
How much sleep would you say you get every night on average?
Like 5 to 6.
5 to 6?
Yeah.
What time do you go to sleep?
Usually like 1 or 2.
Really?
Yeah.
And when do you wake up?
Usually 6 or 7.
And have you ever had this previously? I think you mentioned that you never had this sort of fatigue and weakness before.
Not this long. Maybe for like a day or two, but not
Okay.
consistently.
And out of a scale of 1 to 10, how would you say that it kind of affects you on a day-to-day basis? 10 being the worst.
I would say like a 7.
7.
Yeah.
And there would be no particular site of this fatigue, especially maybe your legs, your arms.
I think it's just from head
just
to toe,
general.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said it's worse in the morning and the night,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Do you have any other associated symptoms besides the ones that we kind of talked about already? Anything else you're feeling? Any other parts of your body?
I don't think so. No.
No? Have you been getting sick at all recently?
No.
No? No sickness? Okay. I'm going to ask you a little bit about your past medical history. Have you been hospitalized anytime recently or?
Not recently.
No? Not recently? Do you take any medications?
I do not.
No medications? Are you on birth control?
No.
Do you have any allergies?
I do not.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a little bit about your childhood illness and your childhood history. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Have you ever had measles,
No.
mumps,
No.
chickenpox,
No.
rheumatic fever,
No.
scarlet fever,
No.
polio,
No.
any sort of psychiatric disorders?
No.
I'm going to ask you about childhood immunizations. Have you ever been immunized for polio?
Yep.
Yes.
Mhm.
MMRs,
Mhm.
influenza,
Yep.
pneumococcal.
Yep.
And do you ever remember any time that you got sick in your childhood? Anything particularly bad?
Childhood. Just like strep.
Strep.
Yeah. Nothing crazy.
Do you know how many times you've gotten strep?
Probably twice.
Twice? Okay.
Yeah.
And when you were younger?
Yeah.
About how old do you think?
I think the first time I was 6, and then the second time I was in high school, like 14.
Okay, we're going to move to adult illness. I'm going to ask you a couple questions again about some conditions, and you can tell me if you've ever had them or experienced them. Do you have any history, adult history of thyroid disease?
No.
No? Have you ever been checked?
I have not. No.
Never been checked. Any heart disease?
No.
Hypertension?
No. I know that sounded very hesitant.
Yeah.
I don't have high blood pressure, but I feel like I'm pre-hypertensive. It's very prevalent in my family history.
Okay.
So,
Do you remember the last time you've gotten your blood pressure checked?
I think the last time I got my physical, so maybe in March.
Do you remember what it was?
I think it was like 120 over 80.
Okay.
So that was like
That's
pretty
good.
normal, yeah.
And it's usually around that, do you know?
I think that was like a good day. I think
Okay.
usually it's a little bit higher,
A little
like
higher.
closer to 130, but yeah.
All right. And do you have any family history of hypertension? You said yes, right?
Yeah, my mom and pretty much all my aunts on my mom's side.
How about your father's side?
I don't think he or anyone on my dad's side has hypertension.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hyperlipidemia?
No.
No. Diabetes?
No.
COPD or asthma?
No.
Cancer?
No.
HIV,
No.
hepatitis,
No.
kidney disease,
No.
blood clots.
No.
Have you had any sort of psychiatric history in your adulthood? No?
No.
No psychiatric treatments or medications?
No.
Any family history of psychiatric health problems?
I don't think so. Not that No, I don't think so.
Okay. Have you been in any accidents or injuries at any point in your life that you can remember?
No injuries or accidents, no.
Never broken anything?
Oh, actually, yeah, now that I think about it, I have broken my left pinky, yes.
Do you know when you did that?
I was 13.
How?
My brother fell on top of me. That was great.
And you haven't had any problems since then?
No.
No pain?
Mm-mm.
That's good. Did you go to the doctor for that, the hospital?
Yeah, I mean, they just basically put a splint on it and then said it'd be fine in a few weeks, yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right. Not much they could do for a
Right,
pinky.
yeah.
So then that would be the only time that you remember being hospitalized at all?
I had surgery in 2014. I had a laparoscopic appendectomy.
Was that preventative, or did you...
My appendix ruptured, so it's kind of just, yeah.
Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay now.
Yeah, did you have a lot of pain when that happened?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
This is the worst pain I've ever experienced in
I'm
my life.
sure. And how long did you have the pain before you sought treatment?
Oh, it was bad. I waited 4 days before I went in, which is, yeah, highly do not recommend doing that.
And you haven't had any symptoms of that or any complications from that surgery at all since?
No, I mean, my scar itches every now and then, but besides that, no.
Did you feel when it rains?
I don't. I
don't?
surprisingly don't, no.
Right, and then that's the only surgery you've ever had, right?
I've had my wisdom teeth taken
Your wisdom teeth out?
yes.
When was that?
I think that was 2012.
2012?
2012, yeah, I had all 4 taken out.
All 4 in the same time?
Yes.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Were they bothering you beforehand?
No, I had to get Invisalign, and they were eventually going to grow out, so they wanted to take it out before I actually had my retainers fitted.
Preventative. Nice. And have you had any complications from that at all?
No.
No, like pocket swelling in the back?
No, yeah.
Have you had any other dental work done? Any caps, fills, plates, shapes?
I have one veneer.
One
but
veneer?
I don't know if that's, yeah, to cover one of my cavities.
And do you know when you have that placed?
I got it done in June, this past June, yeah.
And no problems with it?
Mm-mm.
Doesn't fall off at all?
Mm-mm, not
Let's hope it doesn't.
yet. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask you about some of your adult immunizations. I know we talked about your childhood immunizations, but have you been immunized recently for this past flu season?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Do you know when?
I believe it was last Thursday.
Last Thursday. Wow, very recently.
So yeah.
I need to get mine done. Hepatitis.
Yes.
Pneumococcal?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, okay. Any screening tests? I'm assuming you haven't had a mammography before.
No.
Colonoscopies?
No.
No prostate or testicular exams? Have you ever had a pap smear before?
Yep.
You have?
Mm-hmm. I think I got it done also in March of this year. Yeah.
And you have an OBGYN that you trust?
Yep.
Here in the new city, or?
No, back in Illinois, yeah.
Have you ever had a DEXA scan?
No.
No DEXA scan. Any tuberculosis screenings?
No.
PPDs? No.
No.
Cholesterol?
No.
Fecal samples?
No.
Any lung cancer screenings?
No.
And you said you have no past psychiatric history at all?
Nope.
No history of self-harm?
No.
Suicidal thoughts? Okay. Do you know when you first started having a menstrual period?
I think I was 13.
Your typical menstrual cycle and timing?
In terms of like duration,
Yes.
I would say it's around like 4 days. And it's usually pretty regular, but I'm always either like at least a week late, or sometimes I'll skip maybe once or twice a year.
And you said you're not on any forms of birth control at all?
No.
And you've never had any problems with your period? Dysmenorrhea, any sort of like pain or fainting?
No, just
No?
usual cramps, but nothing significant.
Okay. And how would you describe your flow?
I think it's pretty regular. I don't think it's like super light. I don't think it's super heavy.
Okay. You are not having menopause symptoms. I know your last pap smear history. And do you have any histories of STIs?
No.
Sexually transmitted disease? No? Are you sexually active?
No.
So then you have not been pregnant at any point. Okay, I'm going to ask you a little bit about your family history. So could you describe your paternal grandparents for me?
My maternal grandparents. My grandfather, I don't remember how old he was. He was 80 something, but he passed away from, he had prostate cancer, but I don't know if that's why he passed away, but it might have been complications with that. My grandmother, she passed away this year. She had a stroke. She was also recently diagnosed with some kind of stomach cancer, but I can't recall which type.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you, yeah. But yeah, she passed away from the stroke, so I don't remember anything else.
Do you know how old she was when she passed away?
I think she was also in her 80s, but I don't know specifically.
Okay, that's okay. How about your maternal grandparents?
Maternal grandparents. My grandfather, he had Alzheimer's. He passed away in 2015. I don't remember his age either. My grandmother, she's still alive. I just know that all my grandparents either were or currently are in their 80s, but I don't know specifically what age.
Okay, that's fine.
And she's generally pretty healthy. Other than that, she's just kind of,
Getting
getting
older.
old.
Yeah, okay. That's good. How about your parents? Could you talk to me a little bit about them?
Yeah, my dad is pretty healthy. He just has a little bit of arthritis in his fingers and his knees.
Rheumatoid arthritis or just?
No, I think he used to play a lot of tennis, and then he pushes meds all day because he's an anesthesiologist. But I think that's just like normal wear and tear from just life. But yes, nothing like crazy. He manages it pretty well. I think my mom also has a little bit of arthritis. Same thing. I think it's just normal wear and tear. But she has hypertension. I think she has pre-glaucoma and pre-osteoporosis. But other than that, I don't think she has any other.
How old is your father?
My dad is 63.
63. And your mother?
Is 58.
58, okay. Do you have any aunts or uncles with any sort of pertinent medical history that you think that I should know of? I know that your mom's side has hypertension.
Yeah, pretty much all of them, all 5 of my aunts. I think a good chunk of them too also have glaucoma, so it kind
Glaucoma?
of runs in the family. Yeah. My maternal uncle has type 2 diabetes and hypertension. And I think a good chunk of my aunts too also have osteoporosis, but I'm not sure.
And that's on
which
your
one.
mother's side?
Yeah, my mom's side. I think that's about it.
No autoimmune diseases that run in the family at all that you know of?
Not that I'm aware of.
No? Okay. I'm going to ask you some questions about maybe some pertinent anything that could be in your family. So do you have any family history of headaches that you know of?
No.
No? Seizure disorders?
No.
Strokes? Yes, you
Yes,
said.
my
Grandfather?
Yeah, paternal grandmother.
Grandmother? Any substance abuse?
Mm-mm.
Suicide?
No.
Thyroid disease?
No.
Coronary artery disease?
No.
Hypertension? I know.
Yeah.
Hyperlipidemia?
No.
Diabetes? Yes. Asthma?
No.
Tuberculosis?
No.
Renal disease?
No.
Arthritis? Yes. Any sort of allergies?
Not seasonal.
Just seasonal? Okay. Cancer?
I think prostate, stomach cancer. But I think that's it.
Okay.
Anything else? Yeah.
And any sort of genetically transmitted diseases that you know of that run in the family? No. Are your parents smokers?
No.
Do you have any siblings?
Yes.
You do?
One older brother.
One older brother. Could you tell me about him?
He's 28. He's a nurse. He's healthy, very, very healthy. He doesn't have any other health problems.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Are you guys close?
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
close.
Where does he live?
He lives in Illinois.
Oh, nice. And that's where you're from, I'm assuming?
I went to undergrad there. I grew up in Oklahoma, but
Oh, nice.
Illinois is my home. So
Oh,
yeah.
Very nice. So why don't you tell me a little bit about that? Where you're from?
Yeah. I grew up mostly in Oklahoma. My parents are still there. I went to.
Is that where you were born? I'm sorry.
I was born in California.
California, oh, wow.
I moved around a lot. I lived in Kentucky for a little bit, and then it was random. But yeah, I've lived most of my life in Oklahoma prior to going to college at U of I in Illinois. And then I stayed there for 2 years after graduating before coming to Philly to go to PA schools.
So what did you get your undergrad in?
Community health.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you like that?
It was easy. I didn't really know PA until I started working at a dermatology clinic, and so I think once I started working in derm, that was when But yes, the community health background has definitely given me foundation, but I think working in derm gave me more specificity of what I wanted to do.
Nice. And how was your childhood?
It was good.
It was good
Really
childhood?
Good, yeah.
So tell me about your life right now. You just moved to this new city.
Yeah, started PA school in July. It's been stressful. It's been picking up. Lots of changes. I think, most stress I've ever been.
Most stressed you've ever been?
Um,
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you say your stress level is right now?
right now, probably I think I've just gotten so used to it. It's consistently at a 7.
Like a numb 7?
Yes, that's perfect. Yes, a numb 7.
I hear that. Very cool. Okay. And where do you live?
I live just down the street. On Schoolhouse Lane.
Do you live with other people?
Yeah, I live with 2 other girls who are also in the program.
And you like them?
Yeah.
You guys get
they're
along well?
great, Yeah.
Has anyone at home ever sexually or physically abused you?
No.
No? Never in your past either when you were younger?
No.
No? Do you know any in your house that might feel unsafe in their living situation?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Do you have any animals?
I do not.
You do not? Did you when you were younger?
I had a lot of rodents. I had hamsters and guinea pigs.
Nice. How often do you go home and see your parents?
Not often. They usually come see me.
They come
yeah.
see you. How often would you say that is, though?
Twice a year.
Twice a year?
Yeah.
Nice. And you guys have a good relationship?
Oh yeah.
Nice. Would you say you're religious at all?
Yes.
Yes? Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. I was raised in a Christian family. My grandfather pastor, and my dad's pretty much the pastor. Yeah, like faith is my most important thing in my life, and it's like the reason why I'm here. So.
Nice. Could you tell me about some of your hobbies?
Hobbies. Don't know what that is anymore. Honestly, I don't really like doing things. I think I
You
just
don't like doing things?
Yeah, like like hobbies like rock climbing or like something crazy like hiking or. I think I just if I have spare time, I like to spend time with people or just kind of relax, read a
Decompress.
book. Yeah.
So what would you say, how do you de-stress? Read a book?
I love spending time with people.
Love spending time with
yes,
people?
Just like my friends or family, if I just call them on the phone or hang out with people here, that's my number one thing I want to do.
Nice. And do you feel like you have a good support group right now?
Yes.
Yes?
For sure.
And have you found any sort of church or religious community in the new city?
Yeah, I started going to a church called Renewal, and I love it. They've been great. Even if P school is just down the drain, like I'm just very thankful for that community.
Nice, that's awesome. I'm really glad to hear that. How much more time do you have left in school?
Time off?
Time do you have left in school?
Oh, left in school? 23 months. Yeah.
Okay. And what do you think you're going to do after that? I know that's a long time away, but
Yeah, I think hopefully find a job.
do you know what specialty you want to do?
I don't. I'm very open to whatever. I think I know what I don't want to do, but
Which is?
honestly, like surgery's not that exciting to me.
Really?
But yeah, surprisingly. Like I'm open to derm. I've worked in derm, but I'm not completely bound to it. But I'm very open to that. OB-GYN, primary care, anything like that. Adult family medicine.
Okay. And with your recent symptoms that you've been talking about for the past 2 months, have you felt like any of these things that we've talked about recently, going to church, maybe seeing your friends, has that been affected by these symptoms?
I feel like that might make it better, just kind of being distracted or spending time with them. But I think when I'm like in school setting or school mode, that's when it gets worse.
Worse. The
But-
stress kind of takes
yeah.
it out of you. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. I'm going to ask you some questions about symptoms, and I want you to let me know if you have any
Okay.
experience any of these. So I know you've said recent weight loss. You've
Mhm.
seen about 10 pounds in the past 2 to 3 months since you've been
Yeah.
moving here. And that's not on purpose, right? You're not trying to lose weight at all.
No.
Could you please talk to me about what you eat, maybe on a daily basis?
I feel like I eat generally pretty healthy, like chicken, salmon, broccoli. I mean, sometimes I have to skip meals here and there, but I try not to. But
Okay.
sometimes it's inevitable.
So how many meals would you say on average that you eat on a weekday?
On a weekday, I try to usually 3. Granted, they're not the greatest portions, but sometimes maybe once or twice a week, two meals a day.
Okay. And do you feel like on days where maybe you don't eat as much, you feel a little more fatigued, or maybe do you
Yeah.
feel like the days where you eat too much, you feel more fatigued?
I think when I
When you
skip
don't, you
meals,
skip meals?
it's significantly worse.
And weakness, fatigue, any fever?
No.
No fever? Have you had any headaches,
No.
head injuries,
No.
dizziness, lightheadedness?
No.
Nope. Any sort of vision problems?
No.
Do you wear glasses or contacts?
Or contacts.
You wear contacts?
Mhm.
What prescription do you have?
Left eye is negative 4.25 and right is negative 4.
When was the last time you went to get a glasses checkup?
Ooh, like last year, 2018, like February.
Do you have any pain in your eyes? Do you feel like you are in the wrong prescription potentially?
No.
No? Not at all? Have you had any heart trouble?
No.
No? No heart pain?
No.
Any history of heart murmurs at all?
No.
You feel short of breath?
No.
No? Not even going upstairs when you're exercising?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.